Hello and welcome to All Important Words, the podcast that helps learners of English master the academic word list. These are your co-hosts Beck
and Jim, and we've got another useful and interesting academic word to share with you today. What's our word for today, Beck?
Today's word is evidence. Evidence. That is E-V-I-D-E-N-C-E. It is a noun in the academic word list, and it's pronounced as evidence.
When I think of evidence, I can think of two meanings. Look at these two sentences, Beck. Number one, doctors found no evidence of infection.
In this sentence, evidence means facts or signs that show clearly that something exists or is true.
Yes, Beck, that's right. And here is the second sentence. Number two, he refused to give evidence at the trial.
Ooh, this sentence sounds dangerous. So in your second sentence, the word evidence means information that is given in a court of law in order to prove that someone is guilty or not guilty.
Exactly. So, which meaning are we going to cover?
As I noticed that in your first sentence, the word evidence is used to mean something academic. We will, of course, cover the academic meaning. So, in academic English, evidence means facts or signs that show clearly that something exists or is true.
Great. Let's focus on the academic meaning of evidence. How about if we start by talking about evidence by analyzing a sentence written by a composition student at university?
That's a great idea. So what's the sentence?
The student wrote, "Evidences show that global warming is definitely occurring."
Well, at first glance, we know what the student is talking about, right? The sentence means that the global warming is definitely happening according to some facts or signs. When we look at the sentence closely, we can notice that evidence is used incorrectly.
Yes, it is. It's important to point out that evidence is an uncountable word. In other words, it's not used in the plural.
So, in other words, the sentence evidences show or an evidence shows would be incorrect.
Right. It would be better to say evidence shows that global warming is definitely occurring.
Yes, it's important usage information. And here are a few more examples. Number 3. There is now clear evidence that these chemicals are damaging the environment. Number 4. There is increasing evidence that people whose diets are rich in vitamins are less likely to develop some types of cancer.
All of these are good examples. I noticed a couple of interesting collocations, such as clear evidence or increasing evidence. And here are a few more. Scientific evidence, available evidence, empirical evidence, strong evidence, and supporting evidence.
Of course, there are a lot of adjectives that go with evidence, but in this show, we do our best to give the most frequent ones. We want to make sure that learners learn the most important collocations first.
Speaking of collocations, what verbs do we use with evidence, Beck?
Good question. Before I list some verb collocations for evidence, I would like to give 2 sentences where evidence has been used. Number 5. Medical evidence shows that men are more likely to have heart attacks than women. Number 6. All the evidence points to a substantial rise in traffic over the next few years.
Good sentences, although number 5 worries me a little. At any rate, these are some verb collocations for evidence. Evidence confirms, evidence demonstrates, evidence indicates, evidence points to, evidence shows, evidence suggests, and evidence supports.
Thanks for the collocations, Jim. I have a quick question about evidence. I often confuse evident with evidence.
Well, Beck, evident is a totally different word with a different meaning, although it might sound similar. That's why English learners should be careful not to confuse evident with evidence.
Thanks for the clarification, Jim. So, dear podcast listeners, that's your academic word list word for the day. Remember, you can find the transcript for this episode and previous episodes at our website, allimportantwords.com. While you are there, check out our links to the Longman Dictionary of Contemporary English, the Macmillan Dictionary, and the Cambridge Advanced Learners Dictionary, which is where we got the definitions as well as most of the example sentences used in today's show.
One more thing, if you'd like to ask a question or suggest a word for us to cover in an upcoming episode, email us at allimportantwords@gmail.com or visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/allimportantwords. Leave a comment and don't forget to press the like button if you haven't already.
You can also follow us now on Twitter at twitter.com/AWL podcast. Please tell your friends about our show and help us bring all important words to a wider audience. We'd really appreciate it.
Until our next word, bye!
Bye!